Hello guys, today we're doing a deck profile for Black Winds for Black Wind deck. First, I'll talk about cards. Let's talk about cards first. For this is the right deck, 2, 1, and 0, and 3 copy of this, 4 copy of this, 2 copy of this, 4 copy of this, 2 copy of this, 4 copy of this, 4 copy of this, 4 PGs, 4 crit, 4 draw, 4 crit, no 3 crit, 4 heals, and one of the over triggers. I would say let's talk about this deck. This deck is basically a multi attack. Most of the time this deck able to do 5 attacks most of the time if opponent doesn't have retire, and this deck is mainly try to minus opponent's Vanguard's powers, getting with more attacks on his turns. So I put three of this because in early game you can use this to Soul Blast one, bind this into bind this, get one card from your bind zone, put into your hand, and then bind this unit, and then you're able to prop one of this. So you're able to prop 2 effect of this out. So you make it 23 in early game with a crit, which is really good. So that in early game you have that Vanguard crit pressures. So your opponent either throw PGs or either throw more shields, like more shields to guard instead of no guard. Right. So basically, this unit able to help out. This unit able to get full potential powers. Yeah, and then 2 copy of this. Why 2 copy of this is that most of the time you don't get to use this, just because you don't get to use this because this is only you place, and then counterblast and call another unit. If you don't have this unit, you probably won't able to use it. You probably you probably won't able to use it. So most of the time, this unit is gonna be pretty much it's not very good for this deck. And I choose two of this one. Soul Charge 2. Why I choose this one is because in early game, on your grade 2s, right, you can just get this out and then get that 2 soul into your soul, and then you can attack in early. So this one able to help her in early skirmishes, early leads, and also this one too also help you in early leads. So it's a lot of advantage. You get those advantage early, so that when you persona ride on or when you're on a turn, you're able to get that pressure. You're able to put a lot of pressure on to your opponent. First, for this, because this one attack from back row is really good. 2 of this because as I said, Soul Charge 2 is really good because you put 4 of this card, and you put 4 of this card is that without this card is really hard. It's really hard to get a lot of power spike on your Rhaegars, right? For example, this one is minus 5k, and this one minus 5k, right? But if you don't have another copy of this one, you only minus 10k, then your Rhaegar is gonna be like 20 to Vanguards. That's only like 10 to guard, like 10k to guard, right? Which is make it a pretty much a little bit weak, right? You most of the time on your attack turn you want to have that 15. You wanna neg your opponent Vanguard's 15k, 15k power. so that your regular is getting that 20 10, 15 50k power boost on your attacking unit, right? On your attacking unit, so your regular is going to be like 25, 25, 25, which is really good, really huge, right? That's why I put 4 of this, and I use 4 of this. It's just that you have to get this into your hand all the time, so that you get that 5k extra, minus 5k extra. And also this game is so fast. On your personal right turn is basically it's a kill turn, right? If you use this and then you have 2 copy of this, so basically 1 5 1 2 5 and an additional 5, you get that minus 20k to your opponent vanguards. So basically all your attacking unit is getting that 10k boost, which is really huge. The saddest thing of this card is that it doesn't stack twice on one unit. So basically you Soul Blast 3, you already minus 1 unit 5k and then another unit 5k. That is the saddest point on this card. That's the saddest point on this card. Of course, if it's not, it's Soul Blast 3 minus 10k is so good. This unit is gonna be so good, but minus 5k is very decent. 4 of this, I put 4 of this is just that sometimes in early game you don't wanna before your kill turn you wanna have at least 1 copy of this. So why 1 copy of this is that because sometimes on your kill turn, next turn is gonna be your kill turn, right? Then the thing is the Vanguard unit, the Vanguard, the auto Vanguard, you have to use it. That's the point. You have to get that card into your hand, get the bind zone card into your hand, and then buy 1 card from the top deck. You have to use that. The thing is, on your next turn, if you use this, it's not that you have to use this. You use the skill, and then you have this in your hand, and you put this card into your hand, and then you get to buy 1 of this card here or this card here. Because in this deck you still have a chance of getting white wins because of the PGs and because of this one. In your kill turn, you have to have 1 unit of this into your hand so that you don't miss that kill turn. That's why I put 4 copy of this. My 4 copy of this is just in the early game you don't need to use this at all, right? If early game, if you're in black wins, and then you don't have this in your hand, then you don't need to use this. Why you use this? If you use this, it's just gonna be like what, minus 5k, and then minus 5k is just like 20. That's it, 20. They're gonna be like 10 to guard, right? 1 triggers basically, and then you don't want that, right? But the thing is, if you have this, 1 counterblast is just 1 trigger. So I don't think like in early game you want to hit hard as possible, right? And the thing is, if you're able to hit hard as possible, is probably you want this unit. This unit you can use it at a level 2, right? A level 3, right? You counterblast and get that 10k, and then your Vanguard have that minus 5k, right? Minus 5k is probably gonna have like 23 attacking. Their 13 is gonna be what? It's gonna be 15 to guard. 15 to guard is way more better than 20 to guard, right? Then you ever save this for your next turn. If you save it also next turn, if they have like low HP, then you have this on board. You're gonna swing harder, basically. That's what I thought. And also this card able to help you in early game, in mid game, and then in personal right turn, maybe and also in late game. Now maybe in late game, right? If you don't have enough of this if you don't have two copy of this in your front row. So basically this help out a lot, and way a lot. This help out a lot, right? And also you don't have a lot of counterblast here, so basically you only have 1 counterblast. So you put other unit that use counterblast, I think it's totally fine. It's very, very perfectly balanced, a perfect balance in terms of using the resource. Yeah, so basically I think that's it. And why you put this is just because this unit give every regulars 10k all the time during my turn. So this unit is very good for this deck because you can attack from back rows, and is so good. And I would say if you're versus some retired deck, I would say don't put this a lot on your back row. I would say just and also too, like if you have like a lot of retired unit, right? You can use this, right, as an early game, right? This card hit hard, like counterblast get 10k, and then with Vanguard, so you're gonna be 23, right? And also next turn, because next turn, and then also next turn you can intercept with this, and then you can put this on the front row, so it doesn't really that neck. Of course, we couldn't find any better cards than this, like alternative, because I'm trying to find a replacement for this one, right? A replacement for this one, because sometimes you don't have this card in hand, then you have this card able to help you out in earlies, and this card is able to help you so much in early than this card. This card is probably able to use it on personal right turn. On personal right turn, this card is really insane. And on the kill turn, this card is also really insane, right? And yeah, so I put 2 of this just because sometimes you need that draw powers, in early games. You put this on the back row, and then you call this counterblast 1, friend, call a card, you draw a card. Alright, you call a card on the side, you draw a card, and then counterblast 1, get this 10k, and then you plus this one's 25, and then the other column is like 15, 15, and then Vanguard is gonna be like 18, for attack. The point with this deck, the weak point, okay, as a conclusion, the advantage of this deck is that if you're able to hit, the late game is so powerful. It's much more powerful than Magnolia deck in late game, because with personal writing, with negative powers to opponent vanguards, that's hit hard, because at maximum this unit is gonna hit like what? Personal right, you get that extra 10k, and then skill, so last one, you put this into bind zone, get whatever card for your binds into your hand, and then you get it, and you get this so basically personal right, you get a 10k, 20 right, minus 5k, 25 right, and then minus another 5k, so basically 10k, 30, which is 30 right. With personal right, you get that 30k buff, you get that 10k buff, and then another 10k buff, right, which is 35 angles, right? That's how much to guard versus 13. That's like 20 to guard, no, 25 to guard, which is really huge, right? 25 to guards. And then the thing is, if you have another 5k minus another 5k's, which is 35 plus another 5, which is 40 attacking 13, 40 attacking 13, because you have another 5 over here, right? And then 10k from front row, so basically 10, so 10, 30 plus another 5, 35, that's only 35, right? Yeah, it's for me 5, 20, 30, 35, yes, 35, right? 35 on the first attack, they probably use 25k to guard, and then on your right side, it's gonna neg another 5. It's gonna be 40. 40 is gonna be 30k to guard, 30k to guard, and then on your back row, it's gonna be like minus 15, which is plus 15k, and then plus other sides, which is another 5k, which is 20, which is 30. 30 makes it what? 20 to guard, which is really huge, right? And then you have three back row of this, or maybe 2 back row of this. This would make it 30, 30, 35, and then 40, and then your Vanguards probably like hit like 48, right? 48. So basically like so 25 to guard, first attack 25 to guard, 25k shield to guard, and then the second attack is probably have 30k shield to guard, and then your regular is gonna be like 20 to guard, 20k shield to guard, and then 20k shield to guard, and another 20k shield to guard, and then another maybe PGs, right? Maybe PGs. So in the 5 attack hits is for like burn you almost like 100k, right? Almost like 100k, like in 5 attacks, because most of the time you're gonna have 5 attacks, right? But if you hit like 6 attacks, it's gonna be way more. So that's it. If you really think this card is too much, I recommend the only thing you can change for this deck is that take out one of this card and then put this card in here. Yeah, so you get that consistent soul charge in your deck. And also one of these in conclusions, I would say this deck is really good in late game attack. Like if your opponent take damage like crazy in early, you're gonna push them hard. You're gonna push them so hard. And secondly, the bad thing about this deck is that the Rega's problem, because you don't have a lot of draw powers. That's why I put 2 of this card, at least have 2 draw powers, and then 4 draw triggers, like at least 4 draw triggers. Maybe you want 5 draw triggers, maybe 6 draw triggers, but I still want that crit to go on, so I still want 4 draw triggers, 7 crits, 4 heals, and then so your Vanguard is guaranteed 1 card plus every turn, 2 card draw powers, and then 4 card draw powers, which is make it like 6 card draw powers, which is really decent. But still, the draw power is still not enough. The disadvantage of this deck is the draw powers, and also a little bit of early damages, right? If you're versus good player, they will not take a lot of damage in early, because if they take a lot of damage in early, and they on the kill turn, they probably won't able to guard it most of the time, unless they have like 3 PGs, and 3 PGs is like 6 card, right? So is very it's pretty much very unrealistic. Yeah, the weakness is early game, not able to do damage. Second weakness is the draw powers. You don't have a lot of draw powers. Secondly is Rega consistency, right? If you don't have a lot of Regars, you might lose the game, because every pieces in this game is pretty much really important. You don't want to drop them most of the time, because if you have this in your hand, you don't want to drop them. You want that soul charge, right? If you have this in hand, you want to drop them. You want to keep this in hand. Like you don't want to drop a lot of unit, like good unit in early. Alright, so the bad thing about this deck is, of course, Rega's problems. If you versus retired deck, it's gonna be a little bit harder. Of course, late game power is so strong. The late game power is so strong. You don't need to worry about that. The thing is, in mid game and probably early game is a little bit weaker than some of the decks. But of course, in early game, it's probably the weakest. By meaning, in early game is probably turn 1 or maybe turn 2. Those are the time that this deck is the weakest point. So if you're fighting against this deck, I would probably either you want to kill this deck as fast as possible. You want to kill Black Winds as fast as possible, or either you maybe guard as much as possible, because on hit So when you guard, you probably make sure when he go on personal right turn, you gotta make sure you're at 3 HP, not 4 HP. At least you need to keep your HP at 3 HP, 3 damage zone before he after he personal right turn, after he personal right. When he personal right, you gotta make sure you have 3 damage zone, because if you go to 4 damage zone, you're gonna take a lot of damage, a lot of damage. You're gonna your hands is gonna burn a lot, right? Each attack will cost you 25k shield or higher, which is really huge, right? It's really huge. So in early game, you want to keep your HP as low as possible, survive that kill turn, the personal right turn, and then kill it with one blow. Yeah, and then I think that's it for the deck profile. If you're a new player, I don't recommend you to play this deck, but if you think this is waifu deck, sure, go play it. Is it playable? It is playable against most of the deck that is not like tier 1, right? Especially against like those tier 1 deck, or maybe retired deck. It is playable. It is very playable. It's not that yeah, it is very playable. Yeah, I think that's it.